Why, hello there, I'm Professor Joel, and welcome to another episode of Planet Scooby Reviews. Today we are covering Don't Fool with the Phantom, which is the 8th and final episode of Season 2 of Scooby-Doo Where Are You? And it originally aired on October 31st, 1970. That's right, Halloween. This episode sees the gang encountering a giant shapeless wax figure at a television station dance contest where the station's money is stolen and the station manager has been kidnapped. The gang discover that the television station was cursed by an eccentric wax figure maker who brought his wax phantom creation to life. For some fun trivia, we see that the gang carry a scooter in the back of the mystery machine. I'd like to think this is the same one that Shaggy borrowed from Charlie in Decoy for a dog napper. The chase song used in this episode is Pretty Mary Sunlight, and a year later we'll see this song turn up in the Phantom of Country Music Hall, where it is performed by Jerry Reed. Now, Don't Fool with the Phantom, it's rarely discussed among Scooby fans, but does that mean this is a bad episode? Let's find out. The episode begins on the set of Johnny Sand's dance game show from KLMN Studios. Freddy and Daphne are on stage dancing and receive a round of applause when they finish. Scooby and Shaggy are next and perform a unique dance called the Toffee Twist. Mr. Stevens, the station manager, comments on how Scooby and Shaggy might win the dance contest. However, Velma isn't so sure as our hungry duo thinks it's an eating contest. During Shaggy and Scooby's dance, the lights go out and a large, shapeless figure appears glowing on stage.
Sure, but what was that big shapeless thing?
I don't know, but it was awful.
Johnny's famous for his publicity stunts, but this tops everything.
The lights turn off once more until Fred, Daphne, and Velma find Johnny Sand tied up and the station safe raided. Johnny explains that recently the station has been receiving threatening letters that were signed the Wax Phantom. Johnny goes on to say that several years ago the station had a wax figure maker named Grisby on the show, but then canceled him. This old eccentric man promised revenge by bringing one of his wax characters to life with the intent to destroy the television station.
Yes, the station has been receiving threatening notes signed the Wax Phantom. Several years ago, the TV station had a wax figure maker named Grisby on a show, and then canceled him. This eccentric old character swore revenge.
Like what?
He promised to bring to life one of his wax creations from the Wax Museum, the Wax Phantom, to destroy us all.
Freddy notes that the safe is empty and Mr. Stevens is missing. He speculates that the stage manager was probably taken hostage. Meanwhile, Velma ponders that since the Wax Phantom is 9 feet tall, it would be difficult for him to disappear easily on his own, let alone with another human being. Daphne realizes that the only way for this to happen is if the curse of the Wax Phantom is true. Freddy spots wax footprints on the ground and they stop at where the window is, and since they are 10 feet up, it was a long drop down. Freddy wants to call the police for once, but Johnny says no since the station is in enough trouble and can't afford any negative publicity.
Maybe we should call the police. No. The station's in financial trouble already, and this kind of publicity could close it.
The gang head off to the mystery machine and decide to split up with Freddy and Daphne checking at the Wax Museum, and Freddy, Velma, and Shaggy to go off and question Grisby, the wax figure maker. The mystery machine has a small scooter that Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby ride off on. At Mr. Grisby's house, Mr. Grisby allows the gang to enter and randomly comments on how there is a cemetery nearby.
Enter. Shh. There's a cemetery nearby.
Nice place you have here, Mr. Grisby.
Velma inquires about the TV station incident and Grisby tells her that he knows all about it from his crystal ball. Holding up a miniature figure of the Wax Phantom, Grisby is happy to report that his black magic has worked.
Then my black magic is working.
Afraid that Grisby's curse is real, Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby rush to the Wax Museum to warn Freddy and Daphne. We then cut to the Wax Museum and the mystery machine pulling up. From the interior of the museum, we can see the Wax Phantom in the display room. Outside, Freddy notes that the museum looks closed for the evening. Since the front door is unlocked, the two head in. As they tour the building, the Wax Phantom can be seen locking the door so no one else can enter. The Wax Phantom then makes his appearance and gives the two a chase. Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby show up at the museum, and since the door is now locked, but they see the mystery machine outside, they decide to break in. Once in the building, Shaggy turns on the lights and is instantly terrified by the wax monster displays of Dracula and other monsters. This is before the wax phantom actually shows up and terrifies them good. Running away, the gang all bump into one another and everyone is reunited. Velma spots a new clue which says Speedy Airlines ticket, and the destination on the plane ticket is South America.
To South America.
Somebody must have accidentally dropped it.
Not Colombia or Argentina, but South America. They also see that the wax phantom display is empty. The gang splits up once more where Freddy, Daphne, and Velma fall down a secret passage and now are prisoners of the wax phantom.
We're prisoners of the wax phantom.
Shaggy and Scooby sit down to a buffet of wax food where they are confronted by the wax phantom and are shortly captured by him. Back to where Freddy, Daphne, and Velma are trapped, Velma finds a bag full of money that was stolen from the TV studio. Velma also triggers a switch that opens a door where they can now escape the room. Here they see Shaggy and Scooby set to be turned into wax dummies.
You will soon become wax dummy.
Where they are tied up and set off on a conveyor belt that is heading towards a vat of wax. Daphne falls and reverses the conveyor belt, freeing up Shaggy and Scooby.
What happened?
Hey, what happened?
Who are once more chased by the wax phantom. A chase song for Pretty Mary Sunlight happens, and we get our normal hide-and-seek gags until Scooby and Shaggy eventually meet up with the rest of the gang. Freddy then decides to set a trap by fighting wax with wax. The plan fails as normal, but they eventually catch the wax phantom in a wax shower, along with Scooby and Shaggy. Calling the local sheriff, Freddy chisels out Shaggy and Scooby first before revealing that the wax phantom is Mr. Roger Stevens, the local TV station manager.
Time to find out who you really are.
Hey, you're chipping them down to regular size.
Mr. Roger Stevens, the TV station manager.
And I wish you'd have minded your own business.
Well, in this case, it's police business.
Stevens wanted everyone to think that the kooky Grisby was the mastermind behind the theft, along with Mr. Stevens' disappearance, as Stevens planned on flying to South America with all the money and to vanish without a trace. With another mystery solved, the gang head off in search of their next adventure.
Yum, 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 yum.
Hey, Scoob, pass the yummy fruit.
Okay. Oh, thanks.
I give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. I was originally thinking a 9, but I have some thoughts. While the Phantom himself isn't all that memorable in terms of his design, this episode does have a lot of fantastic set pieces and some spooky moments. The opening dance studio scene was a lot of fun, and the initial appearance of the Wax Phantom was pretty spooky. Just how he just showed up and then he disappeared again. Very creepy. Love that. I also enjoyed the lore of the Wax Phantom and how Velma and Scooby and Shaggy encountered the creepy Mr. Grisby. I thought that was really cool. Mr. Grisby's house was awesome. It's full of all these props that are, meant for black magic, and he has very eccentric behavior, which even the normally logical Velma was spooked by. So that was very, very, very cool. Mr. Grisby kind of reminded me of High Rise Hair Razor. I think they lifted in High Rise Hair Razor the Mr. Grisby kind of persona, because when they visit the crab home, it's full of all that black magic kind of stuff, and you get Ebenezer Crab's great granddaughter, who is very similar to the eccentricity of Mr. Grisby in this episode. The Wax Museum was kind of cool, but I think it was a bit weak on the props. You get the early kind of monster scene with the wax Dracula and the wax bat, whatever, that scared Scooby and Shaggy. But they kind of ended there. They do that little bit with the wax fruit and stuff. That was cool, but I expected a little more use of the Wax Phantom other than just kind of turning Scooby and Shaggy into wax figurines. Like, I think this episode would have been way better if in the Wax Phantom we saw some callbacks or Easter eggs to previous Scooby-Doo monsters, such as the space spook or the green ghost or anything, but we don't get any of that. And we see that in a Frightened Hound Underground, which is really cool, but I wish we kind of saw that in this episode. For me, though, this was one of the stronger episodes of Season 2, and it had some laughs, some good laughs, and a decent amount of tension. The chase song shows up later, so you don't break the tension right away, which I really appreciated. And they worked in a very decent mystery into this with a fun red herring. So that wraps up my reviews for season 2 of Scooby-Doo Where Are You? My next video, I'll do my breakdown of my season 2 rankings. And then after that, I'll be starting my review of season 3 of Scooby-Doo Where Are You? I know it's a Scooby-Doo show, but because it's been released on DVD as season 3 for the past 20 years, I'm just calling it season 3. No need to rage out on me. Anyway, join me next week when I will be doing my season 2 ranking. And until then, stay spooky.
What happened?
Hey, what happened?
Johnny's famous for his publicity stunts, but this tops everything.
Maybe we should call the police.
No. The station's in financial trouble already, and this kind of publicity could close it.
Enter. Shh. There's a cemetery nearby.
Nice place you have here, Mr. Grisby.
Then my black magic is working.
We're prisoners of the Wax Phantom.
You will soon become wax dummy.
What happened?
Hey, what happened?